So I'm going to try to share the screen here and go through what I call the picture association that we do in the old world where we would actually go into a studio. So I'm going to try this out and we'll see where it takes us. So this is your first picture. And what's this? It looks like you as a little tyke.
Yeah, so what's going on there? That tree and I have a lot of history. That's a tree at my grandparents' house, my mom's side, my grandma and grandpa. And so that's probably one of the earliest pictures that I've ever seen of myself. And interesting fact about that tree is in my teens, I climbed it. It's a big, huge oak tree up on their island in their driveway. And I climbed it, fell out of it, and broke my arm. So that tree has got a lot of memories for me.
Nice. All right, what's this a picture of, Jarrod?
That is the same tree. It looks to be Easter. I might have an Easter basket. I am definitely, that's my mom dressing me right there. I don't have that fashion sense, so I'm gonna play that.
That's something I would wear, my friend. That was probably Easter. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's if it's not a chef coat or blue jeans, I'm not normally wearing it. So that's way more fashionable than what I'm normally used to.
How old were you there, roughly? You think?
I would say 3 to 5, somewhere
wow.
there.
And what city were you in? Texas, somewhere?
We're actually at Crawford, which is a little small town that my grandparents lived in.
Sweet. All right,
I think that was in the city, so part of the town.
All right, we'll move on to the next one here. Looks like maybe grade school.
Yeah, I want to say kindergarten age, so 4 or 5, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I was the baby in my class, so I was always the youngest one.
Oh, I got you.
But I was an August baby, so I was always I barely skated in to get into the class that I got into, but I was always the baby.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say like kindergarten, whatever side.
And looks like we're moving into maybe late grade school, early middle school, maybe?
Yeah, I'm thinking 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, somewhere in there.
Nice. And I've tried to put these in order as you develop and grow. This looks like you with your younger brother. Obviously, it's 1986. So how old were you then, roughly, and your brother?
So I would be 5, and my brother would be 2. Or no, I'm sorry. He would be 1. So
did you guys wrestle there? I see he's got a little leg accident there.
All right, so the story about that is that my little brother's been my best friend ever since he was born.
Okay.
Well, I take that back. I wanted a little sister, and whenever a little boy came out, I was pretty upset at the hospital. But once he came out, we became really good friends. And the reason he's got a cast on his leg is actually my fault. We were going to go to Six Flags over Texas in Arlington, and everybody was running around the house, and I kept, saying, hey, get buried. We need to get buried, which is my little brother. And the adults were ignoring me. So being a child, I was like, forget this. I'll take care of it, and I'll go get my brother myself. There was a stool on the outside of his crib that I could stand up on and talk to him, before he'd go to sleep and stuff at night. And I was afraid that everybody was going to forget my little brother. So I made the choice to go and get him out of his crib. Well, in doing so, I was leaning over the bars, grabbed him, and went to pull him up, and whenever I did, his leg got caught in between the bars. And rather than letting him go, I just pulled him on over with me and broke his leg. So, yeah. So the trip to Six Flags was canceled, and we ended up going to the doctor instead.
Nice. On a lighter note, we'll go to the next picture.
Well, I was going to say, funny story about that. Whenever they were putting him in the cast, he peed all over the doctor.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so whenever they put him in the cast, the water was really warm, and he was young, so he whizzed all over the doctor and the nurses. I thought that was really
I like it. Family stories, you gotta love them. Now this is you, I guess. Always. This is what, middle school, maybe?
Yeah, middle school time frame. Not sure where I was. but I'm digging the black shirt because I blend in with the background very
Yeah,
nicely.
you
So
look
it's
like the
a
headless
close
classmate.
yeah, like a Mitch Hedberg type style. You know,
I like it. All right, moving on here. I love this. It's kind of it's Harry Potter-esque kind of to me, but anyway.
Yeah, before Harry Potter was a thing.
Yeah.
I think this was in middle school as well, picture day. So
what were you, about 11 or 12, I guess? Excuse me.
Yeah, we had to bring a prop, and I didn't know what else to bring, so I just grabbed the first thing I saw, which was a book. So.
I love it. Now, this looks like you were with a good friend cutting up. Are you all on some vacation or trip?
That would be the little brother. That's my buddy. So.
Wow, I never realized it. You're right. That is.
Yes, I think we're on a boat, maybe somewhere. Not sure.
Vacation, maybe.
Yeah,
are you in Texas?
Yeah, we're in Texas somewhere on a boat, out hanging out on the water somewhere.
Sweet. Now this next one looks like you're at a tennis game. Who's that with you?
So that's my mom, and that's me whenever I played tennis in high school. I was on a doubles team. Thankfully, I had a great partner. Otherwise, we wouldn't have made it nearly as far as we did. I really don't know why I played tennis. I don't like to run. But I think I just needed a sport to get me out of school in the spring. So I signed up for tennis, and
cool.
There we went.
Nice. Now we're going to move on to this next one here. I love the poses they make you take for your high school graduating picture. I assume that's what that is.
So graduation picture from Meridian as a senior. Graduation pictures, like you said, I mean, it is what it is.
It took me a while to realize you were holding a cap. I was like, is he going into the divinity or something there? But
yeah.
It's not a bad picture. Don't get me wrong. Now this, I may have gotten a little out of order, but it looks like you're a little bit older. What's going on here?
So after high school, I joined the Navy. I actually had to be signed in because I was 17 at the time, so my mom had to sign me into the military. I went in and did basic training at Great Lakes, Illinois. Was going to be involved in computers and microchips and stuff like that, but realized that that's not me. So I requested a transfer and ended up going straight to the fleet. Ended up on the USS Shiloh. Got a missile cruiser out of San Diego, 32nd Street here, and away we went.
At the time of that picture, how long had you been in the military?
So that was right out of basic training. So I've probably only been in for a couple of months.
Because you've lost a ton of weight. I mean, anyone that's been watching the previous pictures till now, I mean.
Yeah, so I went
20, 30 pounds, I'm guessing. Excuse me.
It's a little bit more than that. So
it's impressive.
I went into the military. I think I was a touch over 300 pounds whenever I went in. And whenever I graduated basic training, I was down to 170 pounds. So I lost quite a bit.
That has to be just remarkable transformation, not only physically, but mentally. It had to be.
It was. I mean, to be able to do things that I'd never been able to do before was awesome.
Yeah. Were you able to hold your own in basic training? I've only seen it from the movie standpoint, where it's always seems like everybody's picking on everybody.
Something they don't show in a lot of those movies is that everybody finds what they're good at. You have guys that are great at polishing shoes. You have guys that are great at writing, letters to the girlfriends, making them swoon, making them ready to meet up with them whenever you graduated. I was that guy. I wrote all the love letters to all the wives and girlfriends back home.
I love it, man.
So I got a lot of stuff done for me whenever I was in basic because, I would speak to these guys' wives and girlfriends in ways that they'd never heard before. And I'm pretty sure there's a few children that were born from some of the letters that I sent. So I was the guy that wrote all the mushy letters for all the wives and girlfriends back in the house.
It would be interesting if you had come up with a culinary dish during that time where things might have taken you sooner.
Right.
Yeah. All right, we're moving on here. I love this picture. Looks like your little brother. And who's that you're holding? 1999.
So that's Paige. She's actually my little cousin, but we grew up together. So she was more like a little sister to me.
Sweet.
So it's my little brother and Paige, which we consider our little sister, and that's 1999. So that's the year I graduated. So I was a senior there.
That's great. Yeah, I see
yeah.
that. It's cool. All right, now this is one of my favorite pictures you sent over.
So that's the little brother. We're actually in Vegas. He was the Vanguard Award recipient for Valor. He actually saved. He was in Bahrain, and there was an accident, and my brother actually jumped in and saved a couple of guys. So that's why I got that distinction. But anyway, it was really cool. They flew us to Las Vegas, which is where they presented this award. So they flew us to Vegas to watch him receive the award. So like there was all kinds of stuff set up throughout the week where there was high military people and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And plus you're in Vegas. I mean,
right. Right. I love that's one of my favorite pictures. So awesome. Did he save him from drowning, or what was it, if I may?
So there was a barge that was coming in too fast and out of control, and it hit a pier. And whenever it did, a lot of the debris that was on the barge started swinging around. I think one guy was lacerated across his forehead. Another guy got cut with some decking wires. So my brother actually jumped onto the barge and started to compress for bleeding and stuff.
Wow. One
guy didn't make it. There was a fatality, but the other two he was able to what is the word? He was able to
resuscitate.
Not resuscitate. They weren't out, but he was able to stop bleeding and stuff of that nature, and hold on, or have them hold on until medical help.
Not cauterize. That requires something else. But I got.
Yeah. I forget. There's a word for it, but I'm not exactly.
A tourniquet.
Sure. Anyway,
a tourniquet.
Yeah, he was the reason that they didn't die. So.
There you go. I got you. I love this next one. You're striking a pose, being all Jarrod.
Yeah, so that's Army time. It's actually me on the fob in Gardez up in the mountains, and it's one of the few pictures of me that I have up there. But yeah, you can see those mountains in the back. Actually, that valley that we were in the mountains was a valley that Alexander the Great took on his journey through Afghanistan whenever he was on his world conquest.
Really?
So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
What would if you had to just choose a word, what was your experience like over there in Afghanistan?
Afghanistan?
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. The locals were really nice. Our interpreters were great guys. See, the thing of it is like a lot of times what media portrays versus what reality is.
That's why I asked.
It's often different. Yeah, it's often different. Obviously, media has an agenda. They need viewers. They need to sell, advertising space. But where we were at up in the mountains, I mean, we had some people that made runs on us and stuff, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't as bad as what people think. And most of the time, like I think the biggest thing that happened to us, we had a V-bid, which is a vehicle bomb, blow up at our ECP point, and it was pretty bad. But for the most part, I mean, we would be up in the towers with Afghan nationals, standing watch and stuff of that nature, and it was a beautiful place. I mean, it's crazy to think about, but Afghanistan's been such a war-torn nation that they still have tons of minerals in the ground. Whereas, like here in the States, a lot of the stuff's been pulled from the ground. But, I remember walking out on the flight, on the flight deck or the landing zone, and I was kicking huge jade rocks. These things would bring thousands upon thousands of dollars here in the States, and I was just kicking, raw jade, just because nobody had ever, it hadn't been mine. I mean, it was just laying everywhere. It's pretty much the way it was back in olden days. So it was really cool.
Thanks for sharing that. It's definitely a different perspective. Now, this is my personal kick-ass, badass, Rambo-esque picture of my buddy Jarrod.
So whenever I got on whenever I got out of the Navy. No, that's after college. I got a job as a bar manager back in Texas. I went through a time where I wanted to be a bodybuilder, and so that's along those lines. Is whenever I was bodybuilding, and, of course, you have the mohawk to show your attitude and stuff of that nature. So.
I love it, man. That's a great one. I love it. I'm glad you captured it. Now, who's this beautiful little one? Not you.
Yeah. So that's my eldest niece, Scarlett. That's her as a newborn. The first time that I got to see her and hold her. It's one of my favorite pictures. I actually have it framed here in the house. So that's my baby girl. She was the first one, which I can relate to because I was the first grandchild, the first child in my family. So we always had that special first bond.
So that's your brother's little girl? Excuse me.
Yeah, that's my brother's oldest, and very beautiful, very bright, intelligent, remembers everything. You cannot mess up and say something around her; she will call you on it. So she's definitely been a bright spot in my life.
How old is she now?
She is 5.
That's great.
5 and 2.
This is her again, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's her. We were actually in Colorado Springs, which is where my sister-in-law's from. And I flew out with them, and we hung out. That's Scarlett and Uncle J Love.
I love it, man. I love it. And this is the last picture, and we'll end with this one. I just thought it was sweet. You were doing some kind of a culinary guest demonstration. When was this?
That's the Mesa
Grill or kitchen. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So they have that. It's over in Indiana, and so what they do is they bring in guest chefs, and we cook for a private audience. I think it maxes out at 25 people in the room, and so you're doing a hands-on culinary class where you could do you could teach them how to make things where they can hands-on it themselves, or like what I've done is just cook for them and present. So.
Well, I appreciate you sharing those pictures and your journey of your life with us. So I'm going to get back to the regular screen. Thank you, Jarrod. Appreciate that.
Yeah.